Pacific International Hospital marches for fight against cancer. Lukim PNG Nau Expo 2015 at Port Moresby's Nature Park. And Road Safety Authority pushing more awareness on PNG roads.
This is the National EMTV News with Mary Bartulo.
Good evening, I'm Mary Bartulo and this is Sunday's News. The Pacific International Hospital today joined the rest of the world in a cancer awareness globathon this morning in Port Moresby. This awareness march is the third that PIH has hosted as part of the fight against cancer in the country. Eric Haurupma reports.
Over 100 city residents gathered this morning at the Pacific International Hospital in Port Moresby to raise awareness against cancer. This 5 kilometers walk around the city was aimed to educate women in the country to take screening tests and seek medical treatment as a form of early detection and prevention to fight against this disease. Chief Executive Officer of the Pacific International Hospital, Dr. Amnia Sultan, said cancer is killing up to 15,000 women in Papua New Guinea every year. She said this can be prevented if women get diagnosed early and are treated before it spreads to the rest of their body. However, with limited cancer facilities in the country, treating cancer overseas is very expensive. Therefore, more awareness must be done for women to be screened and get treated.
PIH message to the women of Papua New Guinea is to please be aware that screening can save your life.
Cancer advocate and participant in the Globathon Walk Against Cancer, Linda Baba O'Neill, says PNG cultural taboo is a contributing factor that is stopping women from taking screening and accessing medical treatment.
Papua New Guinea cervical cancer is the #1 cancer because we don't have those checks, we have those social taboos.
And Chidi Governor Paul Spakop, who was also a participant in the 5 kilometers walk in Port Moresby, said in order to stay healthy, people must maintain a healthy lifestyle by taking up yoga drills and walking every day to stay strong and healthy.
It's not like malaria you can recover in 1 week or flu just in a few days. Cancer takes a long time and it's very costly. So,
Eric Arupman, National EMTV News.
The 2015 Lukim PNG Expo was held today at Port Moresby Nature Park. The PNG Tourism Industry Association came together with the PNG Tourism Promotion Authority to host the family-friendly expo.
The public were invited to see the products and services on offer by Papua New Guinea's tourism industry. Cultural group performances, prize giveaways and other activities were on offer as well. The annual event is organized to focus on promoting tourism in the country while highlighting some of the challenges that the industry is facing. According to the Papua New Guinea Tourism Sector Review and Master Plan, tourism has the potential to contribute significantly to the development of the PNG economy. Increased foreign travel into PNG can result in greater foreign currency earnings and reserves, higher employment levels, and generate demand for PNG culture and other goods and services, resulting in broader economic gains for all people in PNG.
Today we have here 33 domestic or local tourism operators who are showcasing their products, their tourism products, their tours they have on offer, their accommodation from all over the country.
The trade day tomorrow will consist of scheduled appointments with invited international tour wholesalers and agents.
So it'll be business to business, travel agents from the UK, mainland Europe, Northern America, Japan and Australia and New Zealand will meet with the local exhibitors here tomorrow in a business-to-business appointment schedule.
The Lukim PNG Nau Expo comes at the end of an eventful tourism week, showcasing the tourism industry here in PNG. I'm Leanne Gerari reporting for National EMTV News.
The World Health Organization has predicted that by the year 2030, the number of people who die from road accidents will be higher than the number of people who die from HIV and AIDS. National Road Safety Council Deputy Director Wilson Wariaka says at present, road accidents remain the 9th killer around the world, but is expected to be in 5th position by 2030. He said this during the authority's road safety campaign in Porgera.
over 5 million people around the world die every year in road accidents. That figure includes the drivers, passengers and pedestrians. An estimated 50 million people around the world sustain serious injuries, including amputated arms and legs. Many of these accidents happened in developing countries, affecting mainly the productive age groups. In PNG, accident data shows that between 300 to 500 men and women die from road accidents in a year. And the World Health Organization has predicted that by 2030, the number of people dying from road accidents will increase over those who die from HIV and AIDS.
Long year 2030, road safety and by man mary die long road safety or road accident and by winning number of man mary die long HIV na AIDS. Now come up number 5 main killer long man mary. Now I'm stop number 9. And come down, now I'm come up number 5. That's how serious problem you may got long there.
National Road Safety Council Deputy Director Wilson Wariaka says the national government is spending over 2 million kina every year to compensate victims of road accidents through insurance. In PNG, the highest cases of road accidents are reported in the Highlands region.
In 1 year, about 14.4 man Mary died one year inside Loenga. Then it's plenty too much, plenty. That's 2002 to 2011 something.
It was highlighted that speeding and a lack of concentration to road signs are among the main reasons for accidents. It was also argued that improper issuance of driver's license is also a major factor. Last Thursday, the National Road Safety Council organized a rally in Pogera town to educate the people about road safety. A team spent over a month educating students, parents and drivers. Quinten Alomp, National EMTV News.
Moresby Northeast MP Labi Amayu says settlers occupying state land in his electorate must be given special consideration before eviction notices are served on them. His comments come after the Lands Department issued warnings to settlers occupying state land at 9 Mile outside Port Moresby to voluntarily vacate the land.
Mr. Amayu says forcing people to vacate the land is improper because of various reasons. One reason is that public servants, corporate employees and their families are residing in settlements and have built properties over time.
So Mr. Rosimol, you are talking about elite Papua New Guineans who are living in such areas like that. You are talking about people, engineers living in such electorate like that and contributing to the development of this nation's capital. So through that process, we are identifying a land. I want Lands Department to work with my office so that we can identify a proper resettlement program.
He said the Lands Department must negotiate with them to find a solution. A solution he suggests is to convert these settlements into urban villages and bring water supply, electricity, health and education facilities closer to them.
Of people residing in Northeast, 80% or 80 or 70% of settlement of dwellers and stuff. So it is in my interest as the mandated leader to see that they are given the second chance in life.
He said because of the government's policy and the Prime Minister's commitment to give ordinary citizens opportunity to own land, his administration will negotiate with the Lands Department for a relocation site. He made his comments after Lands Department requested settlers on state land portion 939 and 217 near the 9 Mile Cemetery to voluntarily vacate the area for planned city expansion. Mr. Amayu was attending the Redeemer Lutheran Church Thanksgiving Day celebration yesterday at 14 Mile, where he committed 10,000 kina of DSIP funds for the new church building and a truck.
And now we have put this Thanksgiving because we want to raise funds to do an extension of this.
Meanwhile, Amayu promised water supply for the 8 Mile communities to be launched in coming months. Quinten Alomp, National EMTV News.
You're watching National EMTV News. Ahead in the news, Deputy Opposition Leader calls on backbenchers to move and the supermoon in the skies tonight. Welcome back to the news. Deputy Opposition Leader Sam Basil has called on members of parliament sitting in the backbenches of government to leave the ruling People's National Congress and join other credible parties in an effort to save the country's economy. Basil says the grace period for the vote of no confidence has ended and a new government can be formed if backbenchers move to other parties. Here is what Mr. Basil said last week during a bridge opening in Wau.
Now that with the mounting pressure from the public and in terms of the courts and also Ombudsman Commission and the courts now overturning the decision or the law that has been enacted by Parliament through the amendment on Section 145, I think that it's time now that those members of Parliament who got voted in other different parties and got recruited by PNC party on the floor of Parliament, I'm asking them now that it's time they make the decision, move out and join credible parties, also credible parties in government coalition, like National Alliance, like People's Progress Party, and also in the opposition.
Meanwhile, the government has continued to maintain that regardless of a slump in world commodity prices and less than expected revenue into government coffers, revised down budget projections continue to place Papua New Guinea amongst some of the most growth competitive countries in the world. Now, if you're an avid moon watcher, then you should keep your eyes locked on the moon tonight. Tonight is to see the start of a supermoon. This means the moon will seem larger in the sky starting tonight as it reaches its closest point on its orbit of the Earth. And while it might not be visible in Port Moresby, there is also a lunar eclipse predicted for tonight when the moon will appear red. It is known as a blood moon.
For the first time in 30 years, there will be a supermoon in combination with a lunar eclipse. Late tonight in the US and much of the world, a total lunar eclipse will mask the moon. Throughout history, lunar eclipses have been viewed with awe and sometimes fear. Today, we know that a total lunar eclipse happens when the full moon passes through the darkest part of Earth's shadow. Tonight's supermoon eclipse will last 1 hour and 11 minutes and will be visible to North and South America, Europe, Africa, and parts of West Asia and the Eastern Pacific. During a lunar eclipse, the moon appears less and less bright as sunlight is blocked by the Earth's shadow. As much of the Earth blocks out sunlight, it goes through the Earth's atmosphere and almost all colors, except red, are filtered out. This makes the eclipsed moon appear reddish or dark brown. Whilst the full lunar eclipse might not be visible from Port Moresby, PNG will still be able to see the supermoon appearing larger and closer to Earth, hopefully with a reddish tinge to it. Neville Choi, National EMTV News.
Turning overseas now, and it's an issue that presidential candidates in the US have been using a lot in their run for the presidency. Earlier today, Pope Francis spoke at Philadelphia's historic Independence Hall, where he took on a more serious tone when he touched on the issue of immigration. This report from CNN.
Pope Francis came here to Independence Hall, where the Declaration of Independence was signed more than 200 years ago, and he echoed those words, all men are created equal. He said all men and women created equal, and connected it to a message today about inclusion, about fighting globalization, and really about immigration. The speech beginning with lots of talk of religious freedom, but it was when he turned to immigration that the crowd here, some 50,000 people, many of them Latinos, many of them immigrants, that the crowd here really grew in their energy, their cheers, cheering his words, encouraging them to be proud of their differences, to be proud of their contributions to this country.
Entre nosotros, hoy hay miembros.
There are among us today members of America's large Hispanic population.
Hispana de los Estados Unidos. Así como representantes,
as well as representatives of recent immigrants to the United States. Thank you for opening this door. Many of you have immigrated, and I greet you with particular affection. Many of you have immigrated to this country at great personal cost, but in the hope of building a new life. Do not be discouraged by whatever challenges and hardships you face. I ask you not to forget, like those who came here before you, you bring many gifts to this nation.
And it was at that point that he went off script to repeat those lines again, to repeated applause from the crowd. He's been very deft when he wades into political issues here in the U.S., but this very much an issue Part of the political debate here, and Pope Francis giving a very powerful message today on that debate about immigration.
Trukai Sports is next, and the Aussies reign supreme in the Prime Minister's 13, and it's an all-Queensland NRL Grand Final. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The Australian Prime Minister's 13 have continued their unbeaten record, defeating a very determined PNG outfit 40 points to 12 in front of a packed Sejongkai Stadium last night. In an exciting first half, the PNG side kept the Australian lead to just 8 points in an entertaining contest. But the Australians put their foot on the pedal and ran away with the match in the second half, proving to have too much class for the home side and walking off the field victorious. To the NRL now, and the North Queensland Cowboys booked their grand final ticket against the Brisbane Broncos last night when they defeated the Melbourne Storm 32-12 at Amy Park. Both the Broncos and Cowboys have created history with an all-Queensland grand final set for next weekend.
With a spot in the grand final on the line, the Cowboys and Storm came into the match desperate for a win. Right from kickoff, the match proved to be a nail-biter, with both sides just as hungry to get first points on the scoreboard.
The grand final underway, and Scott it is.
But it was the Storm through Cooper Cronk who drew first blood, scoring in the 10th minute.
Cronk's over to score! Cronk's got the first try!
The Cowboys were determined to stay right in the contest and replied minutes later when Justin O'Neill crossed over.
Justin O'Neill!
Then moments later, O'Neill put the Cowboys ahead with another try.
Now for Thurston. Here goes the ball to O'Neill, and O'Neill goes in to score again. Let's go for Solomona.
But Melbourne didn't let the Cowboys get away when Tohu Harris scored in the 35th minute, seeing the scores at 12 points to 10. However, the Cowboys had the last say in the first half with a late try to Gavin Cooper.
It's picked up by Cooper. Cooper's over. Cooper's over.
The second half was all one-way traffic, with the Cowboys running away with the match, scoring 3 unanswered tries and booking their spot in next weekend's grand final against the Brisbane Broncos. Dion Kombang, National, EMTV Sports.
Back home, and the PNG Taekwondo Federation is placing emphasis on preparing its fighters for the Rio Olympics in 2016. Held this afternoon was the Southern Olympic Taekwondo Trials, where 8 fighters across various weight divisions all vied for a spot in the selection squad that will then compete against the current national team fighters. President of the PNG TF, Peter Miria, said the opportunity to showcase and get selected are high, and that these new fighters will then have to prove themselves against the best that PNG has in order to make the final cut in February. The next set of trials will be held in Kokopo in October.
The current national team is the team that participated in the Pacific Games, but instead of taking the team into the Olympic qualifier, we are opening up the weight divisions again for other athletes to participate and be selected, and they compete during the national selections to come up with the final team. The next regional Olympic trials will be held in Kokopo, and currently we are making contact with people on the ground to set the venue for the regional tournament in Kokopo.
And that ends Trukai Sports for tonight. We'll bring you the weather details for the next 24 hours after these messages.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
Taking a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours in the southern region. Cloudy and rain for Port Moresby, mostly fine for Daru, cloudy with rain for Kerma, cloudy in Alatau, and cloudy with rain for Popondetta. To the Momasa region, Leh and Wau, you can expect cloudy weather and a shower or two, mostly fine in Madang, and fine weather in Wewak and Vanimore. To the New Guinea Islands region, fine weather expected all across the New Guinea Islands. And Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg, you can expect some showers with morning fog. And that ends the news for today, Sunday, the 27th of September 2015. Up next, your weekly dose of Vocal Fusion. On behalf of the EMTV News team, pleasant viewing. Good night.